In my 14 years of teaching SolidWorks on YouTube, I've never made it easier to learn SolidWorks than this. Some of the items you see on this table, we are going to model, but each row is grouped by the main tools you'll need. And if you stay until the end, there is a free bonus that I haven't shared yet. If you want to get the most value out of this lesson, when this light turns green, that's your cue to follow along and model with me. And when it's red, hands off the mouse, just watch. It's explanation time. Trust me, this will help you learn 10 times faster. If you are ready, let's go. Okay, so after seeing this page, we click OK because the part is selected. We don't want to create an assembly or drawing. So part it is, OK. And quickly covering the interface of SolidWorks for the first component. We're not going to do that for every component. There are some tabs up here, and we have some managers up here. I know at first, if you are a beginner, you might be overwhelmed by so many options and icons and this and that. Believe me, all these on the right, all these here, all these here, all these here, all these here, everything, it can all be ignored. All you need to start your journey of learning SolidWorks can be done by learning this tab, features, and this tab, sketches. That's it. That's all you need. And you don't even need all the tools in it. Okay, quick review of what's gonna go down. This is our area of modeling, which is empty. And to you, it might look available, but you have to break it down before we can start actually modeling. The way it works is like this. Whatever 3D object we are going to model here requires a 2D sketch for the simplicity of our level right now. And every 2D sketch needs to be drawn on something. That something can either be a plane or a flat surface of an object. Given we don't have any object here yet, it must be on a plane. So our steps are already predefined. Define a plane, draw your 2D sketch, turn it into a 3D object. Okay, given we are going to start with a rectangular cuboid box, this is pretty easy. Let's say we want to begin our journey by drawing on the front plane. So one click here, we go to the sketch tab, as I said, and we want to start sketching. We can either draw on the tool directly, which activates the sketching mode, or we can just click on the sketching mode to make sure we are looking at our front plane perpendicularly, just like right now. A few seconds ago, it was like this. When we clicked on sketch, it just turned it perpendicular. Now, let me just open something here. The navigations, rotating, and all of that, I haven't forgotten about this. I will include this in a few seconds. Let's say we are looking at this perpendicularly. Okay, we wanted to create a cuboid, right? So a rectangle would be nice. Okay, one click here, one click here. Good, we have the rectangle. Our mouse is still ready to draw more rectangles as long as you see this icon next to our cursor. So if you want to get rid of that, escape on the keyboard is the key. I'll get to that later too. And we want to get rid of all of these. So I just press the delete key on the keyboard and we have one rectangle here. Now this rectangle can be extruded into a 3D, going to the features tab, extrude, and let's say to make it look like a box, done. This is our first object. Now, I could just say you have learned everything there is to this point and you could always create cuboids. It was so easy, but it would not be a true statement. You haven't learned 99% of the things that just went down the way they had to go down to this point. So in order to break that down, I need to go back, rewind what I did, and cover this few seconds from 25,000 different angles. Why did we do it like this? Why we did do it like that? And so on and so forth. Okay? It was just to demonstrate our 3 important steps that you just learned. Okay? Now, the light is green. Repeat with me before I can continue and give you those 25,000 details that we just skipped over. So, delete, delete. Good. Repeat after me from here. We're not even here. If you're not looking at this window, go here, click on New, click on Part, click OK. Now, here, move your mouse cursor and click once on the front plane. Then click on the Sketch tab right here. Then click on Sketch. We just activated the sketching mode, and this jumped into perpendicular. The way we are sure it's perpendicular is by paying attention to this XY axis down here. Good. Now we click on the rectangle, corner rectangle. Then we place the first point here. One click and let go of your click. Move the mouse somewhere here and do a second click. Now we want to press the escape button on the keyboard until we see this. And we go to the Features tab and click on Extrude and drag this a little bit more and click OK. Now press F on the keyboard to make your object fit the screen. We're not done yet. We're going to do a few more things. Okay? Repeat. Still do what I do. Now we want to delete this, redo this in a different way. We want to do this at least 5 or 6 times every time I'm going to add one new things to it. Select Bus Extrude 1, which is the name of the tool we had, which is now the first item added to the design tree. Here, this design tree is very important for us. We'll get to it in the future a lot more. And press the delete key on your keyboard. You can, of course, right click and press delete. I don't want you to learn it the slow way. I want you to learn it in an efficient way. Believe me, I've seen people who have one hand under their chin as they're modeling and one hand on the mouse. This is not going to be you. If you do it like this, I want you to unlearn that. Your left hand is on the keyboard at all times. So select it, press delete. If instead of just seeing your component deleted, you see a pop-up window that is asking you if you're sure or whatever, check, do not ask again. We don't want to be double checking that every time. We are giving ourselves more credit than that. You got it? Check that. I don't want you to see that, and I don't want you to comment, hey, when I press delete, this pop-up window comes here. That I would not answer that. Okay, now after we deleted the top layer, which was the 3D object, now we are looking at the bottom layer, which was our sketch. Press delete on that too. Again, I don't expect you to talk about that pop-up. Okay, again, front plane, sketch tab, sketch, corner rectangle, place, escape. Okay, now, of course, the next step was going to the Features tab and extrude this, but I don't want to do this. I want to drag this a little bit here, something you probably cannot do. Or I want to zoom it here and then fit it here, drag it there. Or rotate it, or bring it back to this position. Let's talk about navigations a little bit before we continue. Now, the light is red. Leave your component the way it is. Sit back and watch. First of all, a lot of you would see something like this when you press the spacebar on your keyboard. Just look at this. This animation, I'm repeating it like over and over. Click, spacebar, click, spacebar, click, spacebar. Nothing fancy. This animation takes about a second to take place. We don't want to see this every time. Believe me, after your 10,000 hours of working with SolidWorks, you get sick of this. And this is a waste of time. What do we want to do? We want to press the spacebar, and once and for all, sorry, my bad. Why did I activate the filter? Once and for all, we want to click on this icon over here and turn off View Selector. We don't want to see that animation. So next time I press the spacebar, I just see the menu. Done. Done. That's all I need. Now here, we have a few options. We have some options here, some options here, some options here and there. All of them are useful, but none of them are for you for now, except this one, normal to our sketch. As long as we are in an active sketching mode, we can use that icon. How do we know we are in an active sketching mode? It's easy. Whenever we are inside the sketch tab and you see this icon over here reads exit sketch, or another symbol or symptom of that is seeing these two icons over here. If we are double clicking here by mistake and those icons go away and this icon, instead of saying exit sketch, turns into just sketch, it means we are not in an active sketching mode. Our blue rectangle is now grayed out. And that can happen a lot of times, purposefully or by mistake, like what I try to recreate right now. So how do we fix this? It's easy. We have our sketch here inside the design tree, and we want to go back to that editing mode. There are a few ways we could do it. We could just double click on it really fast, then those two icons appear, then this turns into blue. It doesn't have to be shaded. It might be like this or like this. Optional view, mind you. This is just turning the shades on and off for a closed area. And this icon turns back into exit sketch, right? Double click away to exit it. Double click on the sketch to enter it. Double click to exit it. Double click on its line to enter it. If none of these works for you for whatever reason, you still have the standard way of doing so, which is clicking on that sketch on the design tree. Then this pop-up appears with a few options. This option inside that pop-up reads edit sketch. Then we enter it again. Good? Okay. Now, zooming out with the middle mouse wheel rotating upwards and zooming in, rotating downwards. This can be customized and reversed if you're coming from a different CAD package like AutoCAD or anything else and you're used to that. But if you are a noob, learn it this way. This is the standard way SolidWorks has ever been since forever. Good. Now we are looking at our rectangle. We want to actually define some values. We want to assign dimensions to our rectangle. All right, let's do that. How do we do this? We have an icon inside, or a tool inside the sketch tab called Smart Dimension. We want to click that, and we see this symbol next to our cursor. Smart Dimension is called Smart because it doesn't care if you're going to assign an angle, a radius, whatever, a length, or whatever you want to define. It just understands what you're trying to assign based on your selection. So we want to assign a length here. So if I select this line, it just turns into this horizontal distance. And at this point, I would like to ask you to turn the light back into green. Do it with me. Okay, we've been here already. Make sure you are in an active sketching mode. This has to be exit sketch, and you see these two icons here, and we have our blue rectangle here, and we can drag this point around. Okay, now go to the sketch tab, click on Smart Dimension here. Good. Now click on this line once, let go of the click. You don't have to hold it down, just one click, and then place your dimension here or here or here or here. Doesn't matter. Whatever you selected, it would look that way, and it can always be dragged away and changed. So let's click here and give it 74.52. Okay, now I just did one click here to let go of that highlight. If you are sharp and have an eye for detail, you just notice that this line used to be blue. It turned black. Interesting. Why it happened, which is something we will cover, but for now, we are looking at another line which is blue. And over here, we have the underdefined state. Now let's assign another dimension by selecting this line. And if you have, for whatever reason, selected something or pressed the escape button on your keyboard, make sure you click on a smart dimension again. This has to be pushed in like this. If you're looking at it like that, you are not using any tool. Your mouse cursor looks like a normal mouse. We want to click on the smart dimension and make sure we are looking at this icon next to our mouse cursor. Then we click on this line and we give it 32.6952, okay, for whatever reason, which rounded up to 3270. But when we double click on that to change it again, mind you, just taught you how to change it, we could change that. Double click and you could change it again, but we are not changing it. We just want to leave it the way it is. Okay, we have 32.6952, click OK, and we have 74.52. Now you might be asking yourselves, what units are we working on? Good question. I don't want to pay attention to that at this point. I'll teach you how to change your units. I know a lot of you are working with IPS. I get that, it's fine. And a lot of you are MMGS. This can all be changed very easily. For now, we want to make sure we are on MMGS. How do we do that? It's easy. We move our mouse cursor down here where it says custom or otherwise. If you open it, you see I'm on millimeters, grams, and second. If you're on inches, pound, and second, change that to MMGS, which is the same thing as my custom. Do it on MMGS. And doing so jumps out of an active sketching mode, like this one right now. So we're going to go back in there, double click on the sketch, and make sure we have 74, 52 millimeters and 32, 6952 over here. Good? Done? Should I slow down? Okay. Now we go to features, we go to extrude, and we extrude this for 88 millimeters. And we click OK. You can just type in 88. And I've seen, by the way, pay attention here, right? Red light. Look, well, I've seen people who want to change the value. They just click here, they go and they click here, they delete these two, and they type 77 or whatever. You don't need to do that. I mean, you can, or you could do this and type 88. You can, but a lot faster way would be just to, as soon as you click this, don't click anything else. Don't do anything else. All you have to do is to type values, numbers like 105. Look what happened. And it has the same unit. One enter brought back the unit. This is highlighted. If I just type 88, enter, it turns into that. Don't bother of clicking there and deleting it, retyping it. Just click there, type the value. As easy as that. 88 and click OK. Green light. Go ahead and do that. 88 and OK. Now, we want to make sure you have done everything I told you correctly. Okay? How do we do that? We are going to evaluate tab, right? And if you don't see it for whatever reason, right click on your feature tab, right click, go to tabs, and make sure your evaluate tab is checked. If it's not, just click to have the check and it would appear here. Inside the evaluate tab, we have an icon, a tool called mass properties. If you click on that, you should be seeing the same mass as I do, 214.41 grams, and your center of mass should be just like mine, X 3726, Y 1635, Z 4400. You got the same values? Perfect. Now we could continue. We could do a lot more, but we could also go back and cover why we have even a mass value when we haven't even defined any material to this. We could define if we have done it the right way. We could define editing, how we drew that sketch, you know, or we could just move on to the next item on the table. But what happens when you're going to edit this in the future? Like, oh, sorry, 326952 was wrong. It had to be 33.2. How do we do that? Editing. Let's learn a little bit about editing too. We're not just creating, we are iterating all the time, right? So we are looking at our bus extrude number 2 on the design tree. We could click on this arrow next to it. Look at this. There is an arrow. If I click, it opens and it shows the sketch that we used with these values to create this. Now we want to change this value to 33.2. How do we do that? There are like 10 different ways we could do this. I'm just going to teach you one of them, the easy one. Not necessarily the fastest way, but the easy one to remember. Okay? We would like to edit the sketch. So we open this, we find the sketch, click on it, and the pop-up appears again. And on this pop-up, it says edit sketch. Or we don't open it, we click on it, the pop-up appears again. It says edit feature, but next to it, it says edit sketch. Again, same thing. Or we right click on it and we say edit sketch. Same thing. or. But for now, learn it this way. Open the arrow, click, pop up, edit sketch. Done. Double click. Okay, I'm going to do that again. Look, cancel. 2 clicks fast. Double click. Either it happens like this, or you can just type 30.2, click away, or double click. It happens to be like this. You could change it as much as you want. 32.2. And then you rebuild. Green light. Go do that. Edit your sketch and change the height to 32.2. Did I say that right? Yeah. 32.2. Now I want you to rebuild that. Exit the sketching mode. Look at this. After you did that, click here to save your changes. And then go to the Evaluate tab, Mask Properties. You should be getting 211.16. Are you getting that? Good. That was, if we wanted to talk about creating this cuboid. Okay, now, red light, pay attention. If we wanted to talk about creating this cuboid with all the details that just went to it, with the sketches, why it was blue, then it turned black, if it should be blue, if it should be black, how should it be black, design intent, and all of that, we could stick on this object for the next 30 to 45 minutes alone. Believe me, I've done that. I already put it in my webinar on my website, and it's already there. So I don't want to bring that 40 minutes into this video and extend this, but I will still tell you a few more important tips and tricks, because it's not about creating an object. It's not about knowing this. It's not about knowing how these tools work. You also have to understand when to use this tool and when not, right? There are about these, what we are doing here is to trying to make you understand the knowledge behind designing in SolidWorks. Not just, oh, this tool does this tool rotates it, this is stripping, this is lofting, this is cutting, this is that, this is that, this is that. That would be like giving you a dictionary and expecting you to learn a new language. This is not what we are doing. We are not designing fancy, cool looking, shiny stuff. Okay? Red light. Listen carefully. Good. So let me just edit my sketch and talk a little bit more about a few important details that you must know. First thing first, I want to get rid of these 2 dimensions. Selecting them, pressing delete on the keyboard, selecting them, pressing delete on the keyboard, and hopefully that pop-up doesn't appear on your screen. If it does, check don't show again. Get rid of it. Now, look at this. This point is blue. These lines are blue. These 2 are black. I can drag the blue line. I cannot drag the black line. And if I try to do that, it says cannot drag. The selected item is fixed. That's what we want. It's called the state of a sketch. Again, covered in my webinar. I'm going to put the link below this video. Go check that out. It's a long topic and I've already covered it. But quickly, there are 3 states to a sketch. Underdefined, fully defined, overdefined. We want to be working with fully defined. The color code for fully defined is black. And we are seeing here our state is underdefined because we still have some blue. The blue means we don't have any width and we don't have any height. Once we assign a value, may it be from this corner to this corner like that, or like this, like 100 and let's say 95. Now, everything is in black. Our state is fully defined because look at this. This is a rectangle. This corner has one X and one Y. This corner has an X and has an Y. Same here, same here. So all of them are defined. They cannot be dragged around. Okay? You might be asking yourselves, when did we define this point? When did we define, the X of this point? I know the Y is 95. Why can I not drag it to the right? Good question. Because this line has a so-called sketch relation and it's vertical. If I remove that, it's red light. Don't try to repeat it. It turns into blue and we go back to underdefined again. Why? Because we can do this. This line no longer has to be vertical. Now at this point, I can come here and give this like a value. Now we are looking at a different item here. It's no longer a rectangle. And if I click OK, that extrude applies to this. Now we have a different item. Now, going back here, why did I do this? Why did I do that? Or when did I do that? Better question would be, when did I define that? Or why do I define it that way? Let me talk about it. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z on the keyboard. Just takes us steps back at a time. Okay? Look, I want to delete this. Done. And okay, now we have an error because I got rid of my sketch, but Boss Extrude is expecting to extrude something. Now we have an error. It says there is nothing to extrude. Your sketch is empty. So I select that and delete that too. Delete this too. I click on front plane, start a new sketch. Now let's talk about a second way of designing this rectangle. So a rectangle. This time we're gonna add a new ingredient into our work. And let's call this ingredient design intent. Okay? Design intent. What does this mean? Let me just answer that question through an example. Let's say we would like to have a rectangle. The lengths are clear, or the length is 100, the height is 60, and it's fully defined, but it's not all we have. There is, or there must be, a hole on the center of this rectangle, exactly on the center, with a diameter, by the way, mind you, smart dimension, diameter of, let's say, 20. Now our sketch is underdefined. Why? Because unlike our rectangle, the center of the circle is not defined. It can be here. It can be here. If I place it here, it would be fixed and it would be black, but I don't want it there. So Control Z. So we want it exactly on the center. What are the ways to do this? There are different ways. And when do we choose way 1, way 2, way 3, or whatever, depending on what we want? Look at this. If we had a component with these dimensions and this had to be exactly on the center, I could potentially say, hey, I'm going to use a smart dimension, select this line and the center of the rectangle circle and give it the exact value I want, which is 50, half of 100. I'll repeat the same thing from the center to this edge over here, half of 60, which is 30. Then it's black and it's fully defined. And you might be right. This is true. But if our design intent is to have this opening, this circle, always on the center, regardless of what happens to our component later on during so many design iteration, this would be the wrong approach, because there are two different ways in fully defining your sketch. Dimension, which is what we are seeing, is one. The other one is sketch relations. Again, covered in my webinar. Go watch that. I'm going to get rid of this 30 and I'm going to get rid of this 50 by selecting them and pressing delete on the keyboard. Nothing fancy. All right. I want this to be always on the center. What can I do? Look, there is a tool hidden under the line tool. If I click on this arrow and click on center line, I could draw a center line, which is like a helping line. It does not carry any value. It's not a line. We cannot extrude this. We cannot do anything. It's just like for helping. From this corner to this corner, we see a yellow tiny rectangle here. This is the center point of that rectangle, of that center line. I'm going to press escape and drag my circle and drop it on that center point. Now it's fully defined. Now here, if I change 100 to 200, that center line moves, that circle moves with it and is still in the center. If I change this to 26, it moves with it, always on the center. So what happened here? Did we assign any dimensions from the left and from the bottom to the center of the circle? No, we didn't. We just placed the center of our circle at the midpoint of this corner line, this line that is always stretched from this corner to this corner, which means it's center point is always at the center of our area. And as long as the center of our circle is placed on that point, our circle is always at the center of our area. Now, we want to turn the light back to green. I want you to get ready behind your SolidWorks. Repeat with me from this point. If you're looking at any sketch, I expect you know how to get rid of it. Just delete everything you have. Delete it, okay? Select everything, delete it. We would like to look at an empty canvas like this, like as if you're starting for the very first time, okay? What is this? Ignore that, nothing. Just bug. That's a bug. Okay, so click on the front plane, sketch tab, activate the sketch. Rectangle, from this point, random. Circle, I don't even have to press escape. From tool to tool, it jumps. Circle, one circle, here, done. Go to Smart Dimension, click, select the length, click, 125, and the height, click, 56 is fine. Press enter. Now select the diameter. The Smart Dimension tool is still active. Select it, click, 32, or 35, sorry, 35. You know what? Haha, I was kidding. Double click, change that to 32. So the diameter is 32. Now we want to have the center of the circle exactly at the center of the area. How do we do this? We just go here, click on this arrow, on the line, pick center line from here, this corner to this corner. Press escape on the keyboard. Now drag the center of the circle and try to drop it. Don't let go. I'm holding on my left mouse click until this yellow square appears, and we just drop it there until we see this symbol here, the yellow square next to our mouse cursor, which shows it would assign a sketch relation. Then everything turns black and fully defined. Now we go to the Features tab, Extrude for type directly, 500, and we click OK. Press F on the keyboard, one bonus shortcut, and this is our component. I'm holding the middle mouse wheel and rotating my component like this. Okay, go to Evaluate, Mass Properties, read your mass. Is it 3097.88 grams? That's good if it is. And your center of mass should be 6250, Y 28, Z 250. These are the center of mass that you should be seeing on your end too. All right. I showed you so many items on this table, different tools. We will get to them, and we're still at the easiest of them all. A cuboid, an innocent rectangle plus extrusion. And I can talk about all the details that I have done, but haven't talked about them for another 1.5 hours or so. So at this point, before I continue, you need to ask yourself one question. Which one are you? Are you the type of person who would like to continue and put your trust in your teacher and say, okay, I'll just do whatever he tells me as long as the video goes, and I'll keep watching, see what comes out of it? Or are you certain that you want to actually achieve this? You want SolidWorks to be your second nature, not think about this. You want to be able to click here and do this and do that, and then not look at what you just did, just see the results, tap, 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 tap. If you're certain about your destiny, what you want to learn, you should stop and go to the link below this video, watch that webinar, and even consider my course if you want to go the long way. If you just want to taste the waters, let's continue. All right, we continue from here. There are a few other items on the table. We can still maneuver on those items, okay? The next one is this AirPod, which looks like this, kind of, okay? And if I get rid of this one and edit my sketch, we can turn this into something like that. I don't want to follow every step and every dimension closely, something almost similar to an AirPod. Edited, and now we edit the feature, the light is red, so let's turn this into 25 and click OK. Now all these corners have to be rounded with a diameter or radius of 12.5 should be fine. Let me see. We select these 4 lines and it looks something like that, right? Fair enough. Is this good? Okay. It's just a cuboid, and I have used the next feature, Fillet, which is inside the feature tab, and I have rounded the edges. It's another feature inside our design tree. Our design tree now hosts 2 features, the boss extrude and the fillet, right? If we wanted to remove the fillet by selecting it, press delete and choose a different tool like chamfer with the same diameter of 12.5. It will look so edgy, and that's not what we want. So I'm going to delete that, go to fillet and do this. But before I redo this again, I want you to green light, follow my steps. Draw this rectangle. I give you about so many seconds. 75 by 56. Let me just do that with you. Rectangle. Smart dimension. 75. 56. And go to Features tab. First of all, come back here. Go to Features tab. And click on Extrude for 25. Now, click on Fillet. Change the radius to 12.5. Select this face and this face. And click OK. But then, it's not quite there yet. So, click on Fillet. Edit feature. Now, let's select this line, this, and this as well. Now we have our AirPod. Okay. Okay. The next item I have is this small vase. And pay attention here. It's a red light. I need you to understand one thing. This is a hollow cylinder, right? It's a vase. There are a few ways we could do this. But usually, like even extrude, we could extrude a circle up, like very roughly, if this is the cross section, and we come back and we extrude this, it looks like the vase that we are after. And you might say, it's not hollow, and I would say, no problem. I will draw another circle, and this time I will extrude negatively, called extruded cut, inside, and then it's hollow. We could say, oh yeah, right. Using 2 features, I could have done that. But if we pay attention to the side of the vase, we see there is like a difference in the diameter, and generally anything that is symmetrically rounded is best modeled using the other tool next to extruded bus called Revolve bus. How does this one work? Let's say if we go to the front plane, we go to the sketch tab and activate the sketch. Then all we have to do is to draw the cross section of that vase. So it's hollow all the way here, here, and here. And let me just drag this line. So like this. And if I go to Features tab and click on Revolve and select this line as the axis of revolution, you would see what happens. It would revolve that sketch and it would give me that vase. If I do 360 degrees, if I do less than that, you could see how it looks like. I could revolve it for 180 degrees, but I want to do 360, and then boom, it gives me the vase. But the dimensions are not right. So I want you to this time go to your SolidWorks and follow my steps at this next green line from here. Looking at an empty canvas. Select front plane. Go to Sketch tab. Click Sketch. Line. Draw these. Horizontal. Make sure you're not going here. You're not going here. You see this red symbol here, okay? Here. Vertically up. Not here. Not here. You see this snapping yellow square symbol here. Here, right. Or left. Down. Here. Close. It's important that everything is either horizontal or vertical. Now we do it like that, and we go to Smart Dimension. The bottom, 20. The height, 45. Wall thickness, 2.5. And this height, 3, a little bit thicker on the bottom. Okay? And then we go to the Features tab and we revolve this. Features tab, revolve, and we select this line and we click OK. Too big. I don't like it. The ratios are off. So we click on the revolve. From this pop-up menu, we click on Edit Sketch. We zoom out, double click on 45, change it to 90, and click OK. Better. Again, click on Revolve, Edit Sketch, and let's add this belt over here. We want to pick 3-point arc. If you don't see it here, click on this arrow on the center tool, and among these options, pick 3-point arc. We have to click 3 times. So the first time is on this outer edge, like that. The second one, again, is on the outer edge. And the third one is somewhere here, not before this line, not after this line, but somewhere between these two. Now we pick Smart Dimension. This point to this point, go for 7. This point to this point, go for 5. And click on this arc so we can define its radius. Let's make it 6. Like that. Okay, radius 6, distance 5, and distance 7. Now we want to get rid of this bit, this line over here. There's a tool, Trim Entities, with Power Trim. We just click somewhere here, and we hold down the left mouse click, and we start dragging just over this line. Boom. And we get rid of it. Zooming out, exiting the trim menu, and clicking rebuild. Now we have this face. This is sharp edge, no problem. Click fillet, click this edge. Radius too big, no problem, just type 3. Okay, done. Okay, for this next item, we are gonna combine a few tools that we have used to this point. Specifically, Revolve and Extruded cut to create this cut on the top, okay? So let's do this into practice first, and this is a green light. Open a new canvas, click on the front plane, go to the Sketch tab, activate the sketching mode. Use line, click on the origin, draw a horizontal one, and press escape to get rid of this. Then zoom out. Use the 3-point arc. If you don't see it, you can change it here, remember? So 3-point arc. One at the end of this line, one all the way up, one somewhere here. I don't like the look of it. So it means this point and this point should not be vertically aligned. So I'm going to drag this one to the right somewhere here. Then we click on this arrow on the line to see the sub options, and we pick center line. We click on the origin and we go vertically up. See, it would snap here. See, this snaps here. And for those of you who don't have the snapping option available, I'm going to turn the light red for a second and teach you how you should do that. If you click on this options here and just type in snap on the search bar here and click on system options sketch snap, it would take you to the first tab, which is system options. Under sketch relations, you see snap to model geometry. Make sure all of them except the grid and angle are checked. Okay, if you have that, you don't have this problem anymore. So I'm going to repeat the last few steps on the green light again. Clicking on this arrow, activating center line, click on this point, snap vertically up. One of the signs that I see I'm vertical or not is this yellow symbol that appears next to my mouse. Okay, so now that we have that, we use the smart dimension. We assign a value here, let's just say with 40. Okay, and this time I'm going to pick this point and the center line and move my mouse cursor to the left side to just define the diameter instead of the radius. So let's go here and let's just leave it at 110. This is good. What about the height? From this point to this point, vertical, let's go 120. All right, very good. Now, we still have a blue sketch underdefined because the radius is not defined. So let's click on that while the smart dimension is activated, so we can assign a radius of 160 to it. After doing this, okay, we would like to create the hollow part inside because this item is hollow. It's a vase. So how do we do this? There is a tool inside the SketchUp called Offset Entities. Click on it. Its value on default is set at 10. 10 millimeters of wall thickness. I believe it's too much. Let's change that to 5. And then select this line, and it automatically selects the next one in the chain because we have select chain checked. If we uncheck it, we have to do this manually, but we would like to have it selected. However, it's offsetting it to the right. You see the line in yellow as preview. So we want to reverse it to push it on the inside. And that's good. We can click OK. Now we have two lines, but they're open on the top. So let's pick line and close this gap and zoom in here. This is still open. Okay. Close this one too. Now we have a shaded area. Why is it shaded? Because shaded sketch contours is active. If you don't see it this way, if you want to check if you have a closed area, activate this. It's just a good way to make sure your sketch is a closed boundary or open boundary. All right. Now, as soon as we have this and we are looking at a fully defined sketch, we go to the Features tab and we click on Revolve. But before I click OK and bring this into life, I have to pay attention to a few things here. Looking at this item, the bottom thickness of the glass is a lot thicker than the wall. So the wall might be even thinner. Let's just say 3, and the bottom thickness is maybe 20. So let's exit this and not click OK and fix this. Right now, we only have one dimension, which is assigned here after we clicked on Offset Entities. And if I double click to change this to, let's say 20, it changes everything to 20. So what can I do here? There are a few steps that I can do. Why either I go with Control Z 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. until I reach this point again, which is good. Then I start again. Let's go with this method. Offset entities, set it at 3, and uncheck select chain, as I said before. So reverse it on the inside. We only need for the wall thickness. Then we do this again, this time with 20. Okay? We select this line on the bottom, reverse it to bring it on the top. Good. Now, this is not a closed area at all. And we need to extend this line to reach this one and trim this one to stop here. The tool to do that, to do both of those actions actually, is trim entities, which you can find in an active sketching mode under the sketch tab. So click on that and leave it on the default selection power trim. We've done this before. Before I can trim this one, I have to extend this one to reach here and define an endpoint so I can trim from that point. The way I do this is not like that. If I do it, I just get rid of that point completely. So how do I do this? Green light, okay? Put your mouse on that line, somewhere on that line. I'm not clicking anything. And then click and hold, and then drag, 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 drag. You can go further, or you can just see this snapping effect where this line turns orange and leave it here. Okay? Now, while this tool is still active, I can just drag and boom, trim it here. Then I have a sketch like this. So do that with me. This time, do that with me. I'm going to Control-C everything back. Green light, let's go. Offset, 20. The line on the bottom, uncheck select chain, and reverse to be on the inside. Again, offset entities, set it at 3. Make sure select chain is unchecked. Select this line. If it's on the outside, reverse and click OK. Now we have the bottom thickness of 20 and the wall thickness of 3. Then go to trim entities, power trim, select this line and drag to this line. Then click somewhere here in an open area and go over that line to trim this. Then we can click OK. We're still on the green light. Check the line. Close these two ends. One click, second click, and again, one click and second click. All right. It looks good. Press escape. Now, it looks good, but we have some sharp points like here. Okay. We could try to round this, make it a little bit smoother. We have the sketch fillet here. So click on that. Let's go with the default radius of 10. Pick this point. It looks good. And this point, it looks good too. Then click OK. All right. Good. Click one more time to exit the sketch fillet menu and go to the features tab. Click on Revolve bus and pick this axis. Then you can go ahead and click OK. All right. The ratios are not good. The proportion, I want to have this a little bit taller. So let's click on the model this time. We don't want to go here. I'm teaching you something new. And click on Edit Sketch here. Good. Now let's change the 120 to 190. But then the cap is too close. Let's click on the 110 and make it 120. Also, 160 is maybe too much. Make it 140. Oh, sorry. The other way around. Make it 180. Something like this. And click OK. All right? Good. Now we have this inclined opening on the top, which is the combined method of extrude, cut, and revolve. Let's do that. Pick the front plane, click on sketch, then click on line, and draw a line randomly from here to here. Okay? Press escape. This is not cutting the wall on the left. So I'm going to drag this point a little bit down so it's not crossing over the top line, something like this. Then we would like to do a few things here. We want to pick Smart Dimension. We would like to click on this line, and we're not clicking anywhere else. Depending on where I click, I can define its vertical distance, horizontal distance, inclined distance, or the length. Or if I just pick this endpoint one more time, which is a pro tip, I see this 4 arrow thing. Then I click on this arrow, then it allows me to define the diameter, the angle between this line and the flat horizontal line, the hypothetical. Let's set it at 26 degrees. Now this is a 26 degrees line, and we would like to draw a few more lines. So do that. Click on line. Draw a horizontal one here and close it here. So we want to have this rectangle. But this is an underdefined sketch and we want to fully define it. How do we do this? Let's say we are happy with the way it is placed and we don't want to drag it any further. So let's do this. Smart Dimension. From this line, top of the vase to this point, set it to 80. Okay. And from this point to this point, set it to 40. Okay. And the height of the rectangle, set it to 100, which doesn't make any difference because it's just cutting through air at this point. And we have a fully defined sketch that we want to use by cutting to cut this vase. So we go to the Features tab and we click on Extruded Cut. It will look like this. I could just change direction 1 to through all both. If I do that, it would extend the negative extrusion on both sides of the sketch until it reaches over the length of my object, and I'm sure it's going to cut it all the way through. Then we click OK, and we are left with a vase that looks like this. Okay, and if I want to change my view to see the hidden dashed lines, we can see that my vase is actually thinner on the wall and thicker on the bottom. And this is more or less how we could design something like this. Now, if you want to make it look different, you can always go back, change your dimensions, and come up with a new design. Let's say 290, something too crazy. And something a lot bigger, 250. Okay, and then something a lot bigger, maybe 200. Okay, you could do this. And then click OK. Look at that. But this time, we're not cutting all the way through because the second sketch was not set to go through the design. These things happen. Again, we are talking about the design intent at this point. If my design intent was to cut it in a way that it always goes through the vase, then I had to use different set of dimensions and so on and so forth. But at this point, I think we can just try to come up with something like this and solve this issue. Like that. Anyways, this was the next item, combination of Revolve and Extrude Cut. Now there are there are multiple ways to design stuff like this, and there are so many fine details that I have to skip over to help you learn, to help you start working with SolidWorks after watching this video, which is my intention. But I cannot make you learn everything there is about it. And obviously there are so many things to do, so many smarter ways to do this. And if you want to learn that, I'm going to put the link to my course below this video. Make sure to check that if you are seriously after mastering SolidWorks in an effective way in the shortest time possible. Okay, I was talking to you. Right. Sharp edges here bother me, so I'm going to select this surface, go to Fillet, and give it a small value like 0.5 millimeter. Then it would round these two sharp edges on both sides of this selected surface, so we don't have any sharp edges. So that's one other object we just did. For the next item, we're gonna use Revolve and a new tool that I haven't taught you yet. And at first, I wanna talk about this tool. So it's gonna be a red light, sit back, watch. Then we're gonna combine this tool with Revolve to create this teacup or tea glass, okay? The Eastern tea glass with its handle. So obviously, if I wanted to break this design, this main part would be a Revolve, and this handle would be something you haven't learned yet. Let's do that. So I'm gonna delete everything here and talk about sweeping or swept boss. Swept boss is a feature we have here, and it would require two things: one profile, one path. It would sweep a profile on a path. For example, I'm gonna do a few examples here. It's a red light, remember. So right now, I'm gonna draw this line and exit the sketch. Remember, we need to draw the profile and the path on two separate sketches. Sketch number 4 is here. And then I'm not gonna use the same plane. The profile and the path cannot be on the same plane. Remember that. So on another plane, I am going to draw a hexagon like this and exit the sketch too. So this is how these two sketches are sitting next to each other. One is the path, one is the sketch or the profile. Now I'm gonna click on Swept Boss, and over here I select the profile, which is my hexagon, and over here I select the path, which is the zigzag line. Then it would sweep it over that line. It would give me this. Now this might look simple to you, but there are so many ways we could swing this. There are so many different ways. There are so many options to tweak this. Like our path could be something smooth too, or it could be a closed loop. It doesn't even have to be an open loop. Then we could draw a line or something like a rectangle and sweep this rectangle along this path to get this. So there are different ways we could work with sweep, and in this case we are going to do the handle of this tea glass together. But before we do that, let's turn on the green light and have you model the main body with me. So front plane, click OK. The origin is here. The front plane, we are drawing on it. So line, a horizontal line here. Then we want to go up, okay? I would use a spline, but it would make it too difficult. So let's go to 3-point arc and go up here. Do that. One more time. Click here and click here and leave it at that. So we have 2 3-point arcs. Everything is underdefined, and I'm able to drag this up and down without any issues because my sketch is not fully defined yet. Now we want to click here, use center line from the origin, vertically up, press escape, smart dimension 28, this line to this point 65, radius 30, another radius 30. If you pay attention here, I don't see a smooth transition. I see a sharp break here. So we want these two arcs to be tangential. How do we do this? I need to select both of them at once. Either I do that by a window select, And mind you, I just want to open something here. This window selecting green and this window selecting blue are different purposes. You need to master this, and this is something I have covered in my webinar, link in the description below. But for now, select the first one, hold the control key down, and select the next one. Both of them are highlighted. And pay attention here. We just jumped from the feature manager to the property manager. It gives us some options or sketch relations to assign to these two arcs. And I want them to be tangential. So I click on tangent. And now look, very smooth. Nothing is sharp. That's what I want. But still underdefined. Why? Because we still have to assign some dimensions here. Let's say from here to here, we want it to be 60. And from here to here, we want it to be, again, 60. And now we are fully defined. If it's too big, make it smaller. Let's do 55. Yeah, that's more like it. This sharp point is not good, so we have sketch fillet. 10 is too much. Lose 7. Click here and click OK. All right. Now we want to revolve this, but I want to add a new piece of information here. This is an open sketch. There is no closed area. So what are we revolving? Just a line, but we want to assign a thickness to this line. This is called thin feature. So let's go to Features tab, pick Revolved. It would ask me, sketch is currently open. A non-thin revolution feature requires to close the sketch. Would you like the sketch to be automatically closed? No. So what do? It assigns thin feature, which was an option here, and we assign it with thickness of 1 millimeter, or maybe 1.5. Look at that. It's assigned to the outer geometry, but I want to flip it to the inside, like that. And then click OK. So do that. Click on Revolve. And when it asks you to automatically close the sketch, say no. Open thin feature and assign the thickness of 1.5 and click OK. Now, if you have done that, we go back to the red light. Now, look, we want to create a handle here, right? A handle could be in any shape or form. So we want to do the sweeping. We need one path and one profile for it, right? Do it with me. Green light. Pick front plane. Go to the Sketch tab. Activate Sketch. Pick 3-point arc. If I set it on the outer edge, I will face a few problems, but I don't want to open that can of worms right now. So I will place it a little bit on the inside. Look, like that. And then the second one, somewhere here on the inside. Then I drag this a little bit out. Let's go simple, okay? This is going to be our handle. Then, smart dimension. First, set the radius to 18. Second, we need to assign some dimensions to fully define this. We have one point here which we select with the smart dimension from the origin, and we go up. We don't go left, we go up first at 25. Again, same point from the origin. This time we go left to assign the vertical dimension and set it at 60. Click OK. Now we do this 2 times for this point as well. Here and origin, we go down. Let's go with 28. Again, here, origin, this time we go right. We set it at 25. Now we have a fully defined sketch. Draw this and rebuild your sketch. Now, we would like to draw the profile and sweep it along this path. But since we don't have any specific plane to draw the profile on, mind you, do you want to draw it on the same plane? We can't. On this plane, it's not even connecting with the path, so it cannot sweep anything that is not connected to it. And this one is not connected to it. So what do? We take it up a notch, and we use a trick that Aryan just taught you. You go to the Features tab, you click on Revolve bus, you pick your path. Okay, sorry, I click on Revolve. My bad. Click on Sweep, and change sketch profile to circular profile. If you do that, you don't need to define any profile. You just need the path, which we have. So we select the path. But this is too thick. So let's change it to 4. Something like this. Okay? And click OK. Now we are seeing some issues here. The handles are sticking in to the can, and it's not look good. It doesn't look good, and it's not good. So how can we fix this? First of all, did you learn that? By clicking circular profile, I just define the diameter of that, and it would do the job. But it's sticking out, so we need to fix this. And the way I do this is to change my view by clicking here to show the dash lines, press the spacebar, and normal 2. Now, if I push my profile a little bit out, it might solve the issue, but I might create another issue by creating an opening here. So I have to clean these sharp points that are sticking into the can. Now, there are some advanced ways using surface modeling, which is a little bit overwhelming for you at this point to do this. So I'll try to do it in a harder way, but using simpler tools. What I want to do is to use the same sketch, okay, and create a negative revolve on the inside. How do we do this? If I open my Revolve, I see my sketch here. The sketch is here, but I wanted the sketch to be on the inside. And the thickness of the glass, we set it at 1.5, right? So I'm going to click on Sketch under the Revolve thin one. Just highlight it. Click, nothing. And then I find the plane I'm looking at, which is front plane. Go to Sketch tab, click Sketch, activate it. Then we open the Revolve thin and click on its sketch. Just highlight it. At this point, I would like to offset this one. So while this is highlighted, I click on Offset Entities and set it at 1.5. Reverse it and click OK. No, none of that. Okay. So at this point, we will have to use a new tool, Convert Entities. So we click on front plane and start a new sketch. Okay. Now we click on Convert Entities. And mind you, we are looking at our model with hidden lines visible, not shaded with edges, but hidden lines visible. So Convert Entities, and we select this inner line all the way to the bottom. Like this, and we click OK. It doesn't accept that. What do we do? This is a good example of being able to follow tutorials, but not being able to model something on your own. Because if this was an edited video, like all the other YouTube videos teaching SolidWorks, I would cut this place out and do it with the next method, show you. But next time you go ahead and model it on your own and you face this issue, you don't know who to ask and why this is happening to you. So this is not allowing me to convert this inner line into a sketch, and so I can use a negative revolve to get rid of these two sharp points that are sticking in. What do? I know for a fact I have used this line here And this is already a sketch, and I can reuse it. I would highlight this while I am still in an active sketching mode. Then I click on Convert Entities. Boom. It's now converted into a new sketch in my active sketching mode. Now I can use Offset Entities, select the sketch, and maybe even check Select Chain. So it would just go all the way in, right? And here's the thing. I'll take it up a notch. I check base geometry. When I do that, it turns my original outer sketch into a center line. That is a helping line. It's not a valid line. And this is how my sketch looks like. I only have one true sketch on the inside, and this outer one is a dashed line. If I zoom in, you might be able to see this is, look, this is a dashed line. This is only to help. It does not carry any value. Good. Now that I have this, I would go in, pick line, and click not here on the inner one. I go vertically up all the way here and close my area. Boom. Now I have a closed area. Look at this. This is my sketch. Sorry. This is it. Look at that. A closed sketch on the inside. Okay. Now we go ahead. We go to features, and we don't use revolve, but it's negative form. Whatever you see here as boss exists here as cut. But extrude boss, extrude cut, revolve boss, revolve cut, swept boss, swept cut, lofted boss, lofted cut, boundary boss, boundary cut. So we want to use the negative form, revolve cut, but not around this weird line on the bottom. So we click on line for which is selected as axis of revolution, and we press delete on the keyboard. Instead, we pick this line and we click OK. This negative revolve gets rid of this sharp points of the handle that we're sticking in. Now we have our can, we have the handle, and if you want to make it look even better, why not pick fillet and select their contact point like this, even with a bigger value, maybe 2 or 1. Now we have this. And if you have sharp edges, select the surface, go to fillet, smaller value, 0.5 millimeter, and no sharp edges anymore. Boom. All right? Again, I'm talking to you because I know you have been watching every second of this video to this point. So come join my course. I'm serious. This will change everything I'm telling you, and it would take it to a whole new level. Okay? It's more than 25, 30 hours of training with support and lots, literally hundreds of step-by-step tutorials, over 5,000 or 6,000 pages of support material. We tell you what to do, when to do it, like a mentor. Okay? If you're hearing this, it's time to go check my course. Link in the description. Go ahead. For this next model, we are going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to model this in a few different ways, and we're going to go green light only, okay? Because we are not using any new tools, but we are using the same tools in a new way. So, starting from this screen, do what I do. Green light, front plane, new sketch. Press F to just have it here. Rectangle. Now, instead of doing this, which we usually do, when you click on the rectangle, change the type to center rectangle. Now, in this way, we can just draw our rectangle like this. The center of the rectangle is on the origin. That's what we want to do. Okay? Let's give it some dimensions. Let's go with 100 by 150. Then we want to go ahead and extrude this up for 51. But we're not going straight up. If we pay attention to this model over here, there are some draft angles over here. So let's do that. let's activate the draft angle, make it 10, but it's going inward. We want to go outward. So let's change it like that. After I activated this, I added the 10-degree draft angle and clicked OK. Now, next thing is it's not so sharp. We have to round the edges. So we want to go here and click on Fillet. And instead of doing what I did so far, I just want to do that and click on this fillet, which is the same thing. It's only closer to my mouse cursor. I save a few seconds by doing this. So let's do that and click here. If you don't have it, just click it from up here. Doesn't matter. With a radius of 20. All right. Now, this back, also fillet, radius 20. So far, so good? Good. But we need to have our item hollow, right? And the wall thickness is about 1 millimeter. How do we do this? What's the best way to do this? There are a few ways to do this. I'm going to do this the hard way for us to practice. Then I will tell you the one feature that does this with one click. Okay? Now, if you want to do this, we could come here, select this top surface, go to the sketch tab, activate the sketch. Now, instead of a plane, as we usually do, we are drawing on a flat surface. Only when your surface is flat, we can draw on it. Like, I cannot draw on this one. This is a curved surface. Anyways, let's just look at our surface perpendicularly and draw another rectangle, center rectangle. Select the center and draw it here. We had it 100 by 150, so let's do that smaller this time. Let's go by 90 and 140. But doing so, we are giving it a wall thickness of 5, which is too much. So if we want to do wall thickness of 1, instead of 90, we have to do 98. And sorry, it's my bad, because that dimension was for the smaller rectangle, not the outward drafted. So these values are not valid. So I just select it, press delete, select this dimension, press delete. How do I do this? Okay, so let's start again. We're still on the top surface. We still have our rectangle, and we are working with smart dimension. I'm just gonna select this edge and select this outer edge. Now give it the value we must give, 1. And we do it again on this end. I just have to do it for one side only, and the other side gets fully defined because it's a center rectangle. The type of rectangle is automatically symmetric, so I don't do that for all 4 sides. 2 sides would do it. Sharp edges here, we need to round them. So sketch fillet, let's click here. Too small. If we do 20, that's something we want, so we go with 20. This pop-up is telling me the center rectangle is being broken. Do you want to continue? Yes, I do. And this is it. So click OK. Now we have this sketch fully defined on top of the surface. And we could say, oh, we want to go to extrude cut and extrude this, not all the way through, change direction to blind, go 50, because the height was 51, right? But draft it at 10 degrees. However, we see this is going to cause some issue. So I'm going to increase the draft until I don't see any preview. This would give me such geometry. These lines are not acceptable. So this proves to be a non-productive way of creating a model like this. You need to understand the results of every tool before we move on to the right one. So if this is not the right way of doing this, what is the right way of doing that? Let me tell you. Click on the cut extrude that we just created. Hopefully you did with me. and press delete and get rid of the sketch too. There is a tool called shell, and it's placed here, that does exactly what we want to do. We just tell it the wall thickness that we want, which is 1. Then we select the only surface that we want opened, this one. And then we click OK. And then boom, it gives us the geometry that we wanted. This is now done. There are still different ways to do this, and we are going to do that. So do it with me. Delete this one, delete this one, delete this one, and delete this one. We only have our original sketch. Now we want to extrude this for 1 and click OK. Then we want to come out here and round these edges using fillet with a radius of 20. These 4 corners and click OK. What do I want to do here? Look, I want to pick the top plane and activate the sketch. Now I want to draw a line from here all the way to here. Then more lines. Let's say something like this. Done. Thickness 1. And I'm going to select the first line, hold the control key down, select the second line, and have them parallel with each other like that. And this one is the horizontal distance. It would be better to select it, press delete, pick a smart dimension again, select the first and then the second line, then give this incline distance, which is not 1 exactly, and make it 1. Then using smart dimension, first point, second point, make it 51. Or 50 would have been fine, but let's go with 51. It's still underdefined because we can still do this. So how about we use a smart dimension, select this line and this line, and give it a angle value like 105. Okay, now we leave this here and we click rebuild. You might be asking yourself, okay, what is this? Let me show you. We go to the features tab, pick swept boss, and pick the profile, which is this. Now we want to pick the edge around the solid body to sweep this profile around. And I cannot do that by just clicking here and clicking here. Look, if as soon as I click on the first edge, it just does this. And that's not what I want. So in order to select a group of sketches or a group of edges, we would right click and we'll click on selection manager. It appears for only a few specific features. Sweep is one of them. We select the multi-select or select group, and then we start selecting this edge. At this point, if I click on this icon, it does the job for me, finishes the loop. Now, if I click OK, this appears. I'm sweeping this profile around that path. Now, was this worth it? Is this an easier way of doing this, given I still have to round the edges on the inside too to make it look like this? And on the outside? I don't think so. So the best way was shell. What happened here? I need you to understand, in order to model an object, there are always more than one way to do this. Knowing more tools allow you to pick the best one more efficiently and faster. And that's what I want. That's what I would like you to learn in my course. You need to learn as many tools as possible in as many tabs as possible, and even the ones that are not listed here. Not everything is listed here. If I just type here and type one letter, you see so many tools are here that you don't see it here on default. You need to know as many tools as possible to be able to pick the best one, the fastest way and the most efficient way. All right, so time to move on to the next object. This next item, this next item is one of the interesting ones. If you look at the cross section on the top, it looks like a rectangle with rounded edges or corners, and on the bottom, the cross section is a circle. So our volume is going from a circle to a rectangle with rounded corners, and there's a flat line that curves on the bottom. So what feature in SolidWorks can do this? We are going to do this model right now. Let's start by going to the part mode. This is the red light. I want you to understand this first before we move on, because in order to pull off the next feature, which is Loft, there are a few options and tools and techniques that I want you to understand and learn before we can move on to that feature. This feature requires at least 2 different sketches on 2 different planes. Is that clear? So to work with Loft, which is grayed out right now over here, we need at least 2 sketches on 2 different planes. Now let's try to see what we are going to do. When I say 2 different planes, it could be any 2 different planes, almost, okay? So let's just have one sketch circular on this plane without any dimensions, and another sketch on this plane, let's just say rectangle over here, and click OK. So if we pay attention to the design tree, we see we have 2 sketches on 2 different planes, and we're going to work with Loft. Is it going to work? Probably not, for so many different reasons that we need to understand before we move to the software. Is it going to work? Probably not. Let's try, and I will tell you why. That's rhymed, by the way. So this is my first profile selected, and this is my second profile. There is no preview, and this green button to this green button is the way SolidWorks is trying to create this volume. Let's just drag this one to this corner, and okay, it looks better. Not that one, that corner, that corner. Okay, so this is the best thing SolidWorks can come up with. If I click OK, this is something so weird, and it has a lot of flaws. This surface is interfering with that one. You cannot even 3D print this. This is a flawed geometry. It approved it, but it's not gonna work in real life. That you cannot have this geometry in real life. So why didn't it work? Because the way the composition of the way these 2 profiles are placed next to each other is so difficult for SolidWorks to make this work. So why don't we come up with a different plan? If I go ahead, edit my circle, in fact, delete it while I'm at it, and draw a rectangle up top and exit. What about these 2? Can this work? Yes. Look at this. This is the first profile, this is the second profile, and boom. It can create a volume that actually makes sense. We can 3D print this and so on and so forth. Okay? Now, this is the basic level of working with Loft. It can go more than 2 profiles. It can go to unlimited number of profiles. They don't have to be the same geometry. They don't have to be anything. So another way, so the next thing I want you to know before we move on to create this volume together is to create how to create a custom plane, because we have 3 default planes over here, right? Top, front, and right. And I want to have another plane, say right about here, parallel to the front plane with a distance of, say, 300. So if I create another plane here with a distance of 300, you might be asking yourself, wait, how did you just drag one plane out of this plane? When I do this, this doesn't happen. Exactly, it doesn't happen. And there is a technique to do this. So let me just get rid of this and do it without working with shortcuts, because you're not there yet. So you would go to the Features tab. We are not in any active sketching mode, mind you. And all I have done so far is to hold the Control key down, select these planes, and click on this Show icon. So they're shown at all times. Nothing more, nothing less. If we go to the Features tab right now and click on Reference Geometries or Geometry and click on Plane, you see there is a property manager for plane that appears here, and it would expect up to 3 references. We don't have to fill up 3 references. We just need the minimum number of references necessary to fully define a plane. Okay, it goes a little bit into math. I don't want to open that door. In this case, if I click on the front plane as my first reference, then under the first reference, look, we have still 3 references. The second and the third are empty. And under the first, we get a few options. Do I want a new plane parallel to this one? Sure. At what distance? Do I want it perpendicular to this one? Sure. Perpendicular how? In what angle? And so on and so forth. Okay. Do I want a mid plane? Does it make sense alone using one plane? So I'm going to get rid of that. Just select the front plane and don't click on anything. The distance. That's how I want to define it. 300. Look at this. 300, one plane. And by the way, if you want to go deeper into creating planes, here are my 2 YouTube videos that I have uploaded on this topic so far. Feel free to check them out. I'm going to put their link below this video right here, right now, or on the top right corner of the screen at this timestamp. If you go click there, you can learn everything there is about creating a custom plane in SolidWorks, like creating multiple planes. Anyways, I would click OK. Now, I'm just going to click on the front plane, go to the Sketch tab, activate the sketch, and draw a circle, and exit the sketch. And now, I'm going to click on the next plane, plane 2, which I just created. Back to Sketch tab, activate sketching mode, draw a rectangle this time, like this, and exit the sketch. By the way, these sketches are underdefined, they're not fully defined. I'm just making a quick example. Then we do it right. Then at this point, I go to the Features tab, pick Loft, first profile, second profile, and this is how we go from a circular cross-section to a rectangular one. That's how our volume looks like, okay? Now, I want to turn the light green, but I want you to pay attention and do it with me closely, okay? So far, we haven't done anything. Get rid of everything else. Hide all the planes. We are looking at this. Green light. Let's go. Okay. Click on the front plane. Go to the Features tab. Click on the Geometry, Reference Geometry. Then click on Plane. Change the value to 300. Then click OK. Then the front plane disappeared. We are not worried about that because it's just hidden. Back on the front plane. One click on it. This pop-up appears. The second option, we click on it, show. Now we are showing it. It's not hidden anymore. We click on the front plane. We go to the Sketch tab. Activate the sketching mode. We click on circle. We draw a circle from the center. Smart dimension. Value. 100. Enter. Exit the sketch. Rotate the view. Click on the next plane we just created. Sketch tab. Activate the sketch. A rectangle. Change the type to corner rectangle. This one. Select the origin. Create a rectangle. Smart dimension. 175. 110. Fully defined. Exit the sketch. Zoom out. One more time. Back to the Features tab. Geometry reference. I say it reverse. You know what I'm talking about. Reference geometry. Plane. Pick this plane this time. Okay? The one that we have the rectangle on. Do it 55. Click OK. Now we have a third plane. Pick that third plane. If you cannot select it here, you can select it here. It doesn't matter. Sketch tab. Activate the sketch. This time, pick polygon. Make sure it's set to 6. Select the origin and go vertically up. Vertically, it would snap like that, and you would see this small symbol that shows it's vertical up like that. Smart dimension. Give a radius to the circle. Look, don't pick this previously drawn circle. We are not talking about that. We are talking about this one, which is dashed line, which is inside this hexagon. So give it 120. Not fully defined yet, right? Regardless of what we do. It's only about the rotation. At this point, to fully define this, we need to make sure one of the edges is vertical. So we want to add a sketch relation. How do we do this? We select this edge or one of the edges one time, like so, click, done. And then we go here to the property manager and we click on vertical. Then it's fully defined. Okay? Rebuild it. Now we have 3 profiles. I want to give you something that I do all the time, chef's recommendation. Click on these planes and hide them. I don't like to see so many planes. It's messy. Click, hide. Click, hide. Now at this one, I want to hide it from here. Click, hide. Okay? Now we have 3 profiles. So far, so good? Good. Now we go to Features tab. We pick Loft. First profile. Second profile. Third profile. Look at this. This is what we get. Looks like a vase, but it's twisting a lot. And pay attention to this green button, and green button, or green dot. I can drag them like that. It changes the twist. Less twist, right? I can drag this on the circle a little bit here. Even less twist. Look at that. We are looking at something like this. But then again, it's not symmetrical, but at least we have our volume, right? Okay, now we want to take it up a notch. How's that? So click on Loft and press delete. We want to take it up a notch, as I said. I want to define the flow of the loft. Remember how our volume looks like? Just keep this volume in mind. I want to put it on the corner of the screen. And I want to delete this, okay? So next, we would like to pick another plane that cuts these profiles in half, like this one or this one. I'm going to pick this one, right plane. Pick it, go to the Sketch tab, activate the sketch. Now we want to pick spline, place the first point here, place the second point here, and the third point here on the corners. Look at that. Then I press the Spacebar button and we get rid of it. This is what I have. Look at this. Can you do this? That might be tricky, but if you can, that would be good. Then we're going to click Rebuild. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Click on the right plane, activate the sketch, spline, first point, second point, and third point. Then press Escape. Then rebuild the sketch. This is what we have. Okay? Look how many sketches I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The first 3 are profiles. The second 2, the last 2 are guidelines. Do we want to add another 2 for guidelines? We can if we want. Let's do that. Now I want to pick another plane, the top plane. Go to the Sketch tab, activate the sketch. Again, work with spline. First point, second point. Make sure when you place your points, you see this yellow square icon next to my mouse cursor or your mouse cursor. Third point, escape. Rebuild the sketch. Again, top plane, activate sketch, spline, first point, Second point, pay attention to the icon, yellow icon. Third point, escape and rebuild. Now look at what we have. We have something like this, right? Which is more or less something like the default version we saw last time. But these two lines are concave. I want it to go out a little bit. So I want to edit this, okay? Not the other two that are actually going outward, but these two that are going inward. How about we click on one of them from this pop-up menu that appears here, click on Edit Sketch, the concave one, okay? And we can edit this at this point. So I'm gonna click on this. As soon as I do, these two vectors appear here. Do that. We want to drag these vectors, I haven't done anything yet, from these diamonds, okay? You can drag these vectors and move your spline in different ways. If I drag it from this diamond, it would only change the angle. If I drag it from the sphere, it would only change the magnitude. And if I drag it from this point, it would change both. We want to only drag it from the diamond and bring it out like this. And we want to do that for this one too. Do that. Now, since we haven't used any dimensions, we are not sure what I did and what you did can be exactly equal. So let's find a way to fix that. How about we go to line, draw a center line, starting from this point, okay? Pay attention, this point, and I go horizontally to the right. That's it. Then I press escape. I would like to use this line, the center line, as a reference to define an angle value for this and for this. So you and I end up on the same part. Smart dimension. Select this line. Then select this vector. It turns into an angle value. Change it to 14. Okay? Let's do that again. This one and this one. Let's go with 14 again. Okay? 14, 14. I did not drag it from here. If you did, you have to go back with Control Z. Now I'm going to rebuild this. We would like to change this one too, right? This is concave. So edit, click on that. Edit, click, drag from the diamond, drag from the diamond, okay? Center line from here, horizontally to the right, press escape. Then we press smart dimension, pick the center line, pick the diamond, and make sure we are not clicking here. We're clicking inside, so we can press 14 or type 14. Again, diamond to the center line, 14. So, more or less, you and I should end up on the same geometry. Now look at this. We changed our guide curves, okay? Do we want to do that for these two as well? How about no? So go to Features tab, pick Lofted Boss, pick Circle, pick the rectangle, pick the hexagon. It would twist, right? Then, in the next field, which is Guide Curves, we click to activate it by highlighting it in blue. We will pick those 4 lines. The first one, the second one, the third one, and the last one. Look at that. And click OK. It's a lot more symmetric, isn't it? It's still not okay if we wanted to have these two also concave a little bit, so it would follow format. We could. In fact, why don't we? How about we open the loft, find this curve, which is going like that, and this curve, and edit these two. So click here, edit sketch, spline, drag from the diamond, only on the top, not on the bottom. We leave the bottom as it is. Okay? center line, vertically down, smart dimension, click, click, 14, and done. Don't worry about fully defining it. Splines are exceptions. That's why I didn't go into the detail on that one before. So the last guide curve, which is this one, click, edit sketch, select, drag from the diamond, center line, vertically down, actually, smart dimension, select, 14, and rebuild. Look at that. It's more like a vase now, like this. Sharp edges, you want to get rid of that? You can, if you want. Do we want to do that? Using fillet, we can. Click, fillet. Select the next edge. Select the next edge. My bad. This edge, very bad. This one, and this one. With the value of 10, click OK. And we want to empty this out, okay? How about we pick the top for this phase, this side, okay? I would like to click on this flat surface, the hexagonal one, go to the sketch tab, activate the sketch so we can draw on top of it, okay? While this is still highlighted, which is blue, we click on convert entities. Then it just turns the outer edges of that cross section into a sketch. Then we can go to features tab, click on extruded boss, and extrude it for 20. And click OK. Like that. Then we click on shell. We pick this surface with a value of 4. And we click OK. Then it would scoop that out, and we end up on having this odd looking vase. Do we want to measure the volume inside this vase? What do you think? Should we do that? How can we do that? There is a way, but I want to make a break. And do we want to measure the volume of this vase? Like, what's the actual volume, cubic millimeters or whatever unit? Can we do that? Yes, we can. What if the easiest way would be to drag this line up to just exclude this shell, which is the last step we did, to have it again back to solid. Go to evaluate, mass properties, and we can read the volume. Okay, this is the volume of the whole solid thing. If we write this number down, okay, come back here, now include the shell, and go back to the mass properties and deduct this number, the new volume, which is the volume of the wall. From the previous volume, we get the volume of the inside. How's that for a trick? By the way, I don't know, if you're still watching this video to this point, you need SolidWorks. I get that. Feel free to reach out to me via info@solidworkstutorials.net, or better would be to try some of the free tutorials that I have put on tutorials.solidworkstutorials.net. Free to get. My webinar is there. A lot of useful stuff I'm adding there, all free. Reach out to me, okay? Let me know. All right, moving on. Okay. In this section, we are going to model this T-can, basically, using most of the tools that we have covered, most of the techniques that we have covered, such as drawing our sketches in a fully defined state, working with Lofts, working with Revolve, working with shell, probably extruded cut, sweeping, and probably a few smaller ones like fillet and etc. So this is going to be a green light all the way through, as I promised in the beginning of the video. And I want you to pay attention to what I do and do it with me. Before I start clicking anywhere, let's break this Tecan down. The main body over here can be done with Revolve. The handle with Sweep. This bit over here with Loft. Shelling it out with Shell or scooping it out with Shell. There are a few dots opening here to, you know, act as a filter for the tea leaves. So we do that with Extruded cut, and all these rounded edges with fillet at the end, and we will finish it off together. So if you're ready, open your SolidWorks. You're looking at this screen. We click OK, and we start. Okay, I'm measuring the Tecan on my desk here, and I give you the values. I'm not gonna do any cuts or any edits over here, so you can follow order. We start drawing on the front plane. Then we draw a central line vertically up because we want to revolve everything around that. So I have measured its height. It's 88.71 millimeters. Make sure your units are set right. And its diameter is 138. So we are talking about a geometry that more or less looks like this. Maybe I had to start from here, like that. So a smart dimension from here, pick the center line. So we define not the radius, but the diameter, 138. And the height from here, from the point to here, 88.60. So far so good. Let's measure a few more things. You might wonder why the rectangle is not going all the way to the end, and I'll tell you in a few seconds. Because we have about 22. Okay. We've got about a 22 over here. Too big? Did I mismeasure? Something like that. Yeah, 14, sorry. We've got about, double click, change, and 14. Now we have to round these edges. Let's go to sketch fillet. 10 is too small. Let's go with 15. Do 15 here and here, and click OK. Next, we use line to close our area like that. So that's all we have. And we're not done. We're not done. We have another on the bottom, which is 85 in diameter. So we are dealing with a line from here to here, which acts as like the, you know, where it sits on with the diameter of 85. So from this line, selecting the center line, this would be 85, right? And this point is not fully defined. So if we select that, hold the control key down and select the origin, we can assign a horizontal relation to it, then it would be fully defined. This is perfect. And we have the 14 on the bottom, which is fine too. Now you might be wondering what we are gonna do with this. And so am I. I'm wondering the same thing. So what can I do with this one? You know what? I know what to do with this. We're gonna pick line, go from here. If I close this, like here to here, this is another closed area, by the way. It's not gonna show it, but it is closed. Then we use sketch fillet. 15 is too much, maybe with 5. We do this, and we pick it from here to here as well. And we click OK. So this would be something like this. And then we can go to Features tab and revolve this. This is the base that we have. Let me just double check the look. The look is a little bit off. Maybe we mismeasured this bit. Instead of 14, we go with something like 7, half that. Then it's a lot better. But there's an issue here. So again, edit the sketch. change the radius. It's too much. Let's go with 2. It's better. Make sure you are on the same page as I am. I just changed the 14 to 7 and changed this 5, these 2 to 2. A lot better. Okay. Are we ready? We can continue. I think this is also too small. The radius 15, let's double click to that. Change it to 25. Something like this. I just edited the sketch, changed the radius 15 to radius 25. Everything is fully defined, and we're good. Next, we're going to do the shell. The wall thickness is about 1.5 millimeters. Opening from here. So we go to shell, set it to 1.5, and we select this top surface, and we'll click OK. This gives us a problem for here. In this case, because we have very narrow bends here, it cannot shell it with 1.5. Let's just say entire body. It doesn't change anything. If we test something here and it works, I'll tell you what to do. You can pause for a second. It still doesn't. So obviously shell is not going to help us here. It's giving us a headache. So what I would do is to just follow order. Edit the sketch. We're going to split our area into 2 and revolve it in 2 steps. So first step, I'm going to pick line. And, oh, this is the issue. That's why it's not shelling. Look at this. All right. This is the issue. Maybe we don't need to split anything. Double click on this R, make it 1. Now it's correct. Now it looks good. Okay, I think at this point we can go and do the shelling. Okay, so let's try again. Shell 1.5, select the surface and click OK. And it works. That was the issue. All right, so this is our cross section. You see it in red and it's fine. If the shell is too small, we could edit this and change it to 2. Don't show this again. 2 is better. All right. We want to continue with loft to create this bit. Let's do some measurements and find out. This is 44 by 33. Easy to remember. But where does it start? It should start somewhere on this curved surface, and we cannot draw on a curved surface. The way to do this, or at least the way I would do this, is by creating a new custom plane. How about selecting the front plane, go to reference geometry and click plane, and then change its value to, what was the total radius? 138, which is 79 or 69, and half that is 35.5, I guess. No, am I too wrong? Let's go with 70. Yeah, 70 is good. Set it to 70 and click OK. Now we have created a custom plane offset from the front plane with a distance of 70. Then we click on that plane. We go to the sketch tab and we click on a sketch. Then we are going to draw something oval, 44 by 33. And we have an oval tool here for it. Where is it placed? Like from the ground, it's placed around 19 from the bottom. So I'm gonna use this dash line as a help, not to place my point here or here. Just wherever this dash line appears, I'm gonna place my first point, go vertically up, and go a little bit right. That's all I did. Try to do that. I give you a second. 1, 2, 3. I suppose you have already done that. Now we go to Smart Dimension, from origin to this lower bottom, I said 19. The height is 44. And the width from this point to this point is 33. It's still not fully defined because I still can move this. So how about we select the center, hold the control key down, select the origin, and make him vertical. Still not, because we are looking at this 44 is no longer showing the vertical distance because it has rotated. So in order to prevent the rotation, we pick the top point and the bottom point using the control key to select both of them. And we set them into a, and let's just, while we're at it, keep control key down and pick origin and set them all in a vertical relation. Now we have it fully defined. Okay, good. Now we exit this sketch, like here. Okay, what about this one? There is another oval on the top, the outlet, which is 19 by 15. It's about 5 millimeters up from the top area and 5 and 50. Okay, so we have to draw somewhere up here and up here with offset of 50 from here and 5 from here. So we need another plane which is parallel to this one, top plane. You go to Features tab, Offset Geometry or Reference Geometry, and we go a little bit higher, maybe 88 was where we were, plus 5. So I just type in here plus 5, so we go 5 up. That's all I need, and this is my new custom plane. Then I select it, go to the Sketch tab, and draw a sketch on it. Which direction am I drawing the sketch on? This way, because my oval is already here. I'm not gonna draw it on the right, top, or left. So press the space bar, make sure I'm looking at a normal, another oval using the dash line, vertical here. So smart dimension, I said 15 by 19, and it was 50 from here, from I think here, this edge. But when you try to select this edge, you'll see you're trying to assign a dimension to the center of the circle. So this would be another subtle tip that I have already covered in my course. I'm going to give it to you now too. In order to select what I'm selecting from here to the edge of the circle, hold the shift key down and select this point and this outer edge. Set it to 50. Okay, I know it can be complicated sometimes, but we are at the beginner level, so these things could happen and we need to be ready for them. Now I have a fully defined oval offset from the outer edge of my circle with a distance of 50, higher from my teapot with the offset 5, and I rebuild my sketch. At this point, I would like to click on this plane and hide it. Click on this plane and hide it too. It's too messy. Then we need to draw two guidelines. Let's go creative. Like if I have the right plane, which cuts both of my profiles, the two ovals, in half, I could use that to draw my sketch on. Let's draw a spline here. From this endpoint to this endpoint and press escape. Then we can drag this a little bit out and drag this one a little bit further out like that. Maybe drag this one a little bit in. That's more like it. Now we need to all be doing the same thing. So I'm going to click on this diamond just like you do. And, or maybe select this and select this line and give it a 90 degrees. And for this one, select our profile line, which can be used as a reference, and select the diamond and give it a 45 degrees angle. That's it. We're not gonna change anything else. And we would rebuild our sketch. We need to do it one more time. Right plane, activate sketch, spline. Now this time this side and this side, press escape. Click, find the two vectors, drag it from this diamond down, and drag this one too a little bit so it would open the customization. Let's see which one looks best for us. Yeah, this one is good. So go here, smart dimension, select our profile and the diamond. Make sure these two are at 90. And for this one, from this profile to here, go another 45. Okay? Something like this. Then we rebuild our sketch like that. How is that? Then we go to Features tab. We go to Loft. We pick the first profile. And we pick the second profile. We go to the Guide Curves field. First one. And the second one. So we are looking at something like this. And we would click OK. Now I know it's not connected and it's a solid body. We need to make it hollow and all that. I'm aware. But I just wanted to make sure you are following with me to this point. So if you're not, you can always reach out to me by going to my website and contact me there, or leave it as a comment below this video, because this would be a tricky step. I know we did cover Loft, but again, this is not an easy feature. And good. We want to continue from this point. We have a few things to do. Connect it to the body and make it hollow. How do we do this? Before I connect this to the body, I would like to make it hollow. So I go to shell. The 2mm is good. We pick this surface and this surface. We want to have these two open and connected. So we click OK. This would gives us this. Okay. We are now looking at a hollow part. Then we need to extend this surface, right? This is a flat surface we have, and it needs to be extruded and be connected to the body. So I can draw a sketch on it. I can select it, go to the sketch tab, activate the sketch. Now I'm drawing on that tiny round flat surface. I can click on convert entities, select the outer and the inner edge on that, the inner, the outer, and click OK. Now I have turned its edges, both outer and inner, into a sketch that I can go to Features tab and extrude like this. Then it would be connected to the body, but I don't want it to just go further inside, so I need it to stop when it reaches the body. Unfortunately, it's not going to be possible. It's not going to be an easy task. It is possible, but not easy with the tools we have covered. I need to introduce a new features like up to surface. It would be extended all the way to here, but then we are still having some gap here, which would cause us a problem. And if I select this one, it would go all the way in. This is another problem. So to do this, I need to take it up a notch and introduce a few advanced tools. But before I do that, I wanted to tell you that this is a typical situation where a simple looking component becomes complicated. And to solve that complication, you need to be able to use more advanced tools we haven't covered to this point, and everything is hand in hand, and it ends up being something you cannot finish. That's why I have put my course out there. If you are serious about learning SolidWorks in a way that you can just solve this problem in a few seconds, you need to go there and check it right now. I'm going to put the link on the top right corner of the screen or below this video. And I'm gonna solve this problem the way I know it. You can just watch. I think we have to turn the light red at this point, so you can just watch. Unchecking merge results, something you don't know why. Again, I cannot draw on this anymore. So that's how I solve the problem, which is not the best way to do it, but again, here are a few tools we haven't covered. If you wanted to see what I did, you could just rewatch the video or listen to this explanation. What I did was I used this line we have on the body as a reference, and I drew a horizontal line here. The reason I did that was to split this upper area and this lower area so I can extrude each individually, because this upper area is going to be extruded all the way to this surface, and this lower area is going to be extruded up to this surface, and I need to treat them individually. So I had to split them, and when I splitted my area, I got the error. You saw that. So I deleted what I had and I redrew everything. So the first upper half is this. I'm selecting my upper half, or this is the lower half in this case, my lower half in the selected counter section here. And I'm selecting this pink area as a reference where this lower half going to be extruded until or to. Then I click OK. And I did the same thing for the top upper area, where I just picked the upper area here. You can see this horseshoe, all the way to this pink surface. Then I just merged everything together using the combine tool. Since you don't have it here, you can press S on the keyboard and type combine, and you'll see that. But you only see that when you have already clicked on or unchecked merge result here. If you haven't, you might see a different situation. Let's try that too for your sake, removing this. And if you had it clicked OK with merge results, okay, you don't need to combine tool anymore. Just merging everything together, and that's what we have. I know this is challenging. I get that. You could leave it in the comments if this is an issue or not. Let me know. Are you one of those people who managed to solve this, or is this an issue? Okay, this is not flat in the real life, so we're going to do a revolve cut to get rid of this using probably the right plane, going to the sketch tab and activating the sketch. We're back on green light for long, so we want to use 3-point arc from here to somewhere with this dash line here, and we do this. Okay, we want to do a revolve cut. So pick center line, draw a point from this end point, and go horizontally right, horizontally right, horizontal. Press escape. Then select this, hold the control key down, and select your line. Make sure they are tangent. Now, this is tangent to a horizontal line. If I drag it above the origin, this is perfect. Then I pick line from this point to the origin to here. Press escape. Smart dimension. This line, 39. This height, let's say 4, and fully define. Then why? Why did we do that? Because we're going to go to Features tab, pick Revolve Cut, not line 2. That was just a reference. We want to pick this line and click OK. So we create an opening, but this is too much. The height was too much, so we need to change that. Edit, Sketch, change the view to dash lines. Oh, my dash line is all the way down here. 4 is of course too much. So let's change it to 1. Okay, change 4 to 1 and click OK. Changing the view to shaded with edges. And now we have something curved. We don't have a flat bottom. If you don't know what happened, this happened. Look at the bottom. We have something curved like that. All right. The next step would be picking the right plane, going to the Sketch tab, and activating Sketch for the handle. And the handle could be artistic. I leave it up to you. If you want to do it with lines like that, you could. If you want to do it with the splines, you could. At this point, I leave it up to you. Let's see what each and every one of us does. I'm working with a spline. Like that. I'm starting from the outer edge, placing it here. Just by the look of it, I do it like this. Okay, and I think okay. Should I do it like this? No, let's go like that. So no dimensions, no fully defining. This is spline, this is kind of artsy. We want to leave it at that and fully define the sketch. You could do it with whatever profile you want, or better said, with whatever path you want, because we are going to sweep this and we are going to draw a profile on it. Now, how can I draw a profile that is connected either at this point or at this point when I don't have a plane perpendicular to those points? That's a problem for me. Either I have to come up with a very customized plane that is there, or come up with a different method. In this case, I think if I draw something in the middle, that might help me. So I'm going to go with top plane, go to features, and pick reference geometry, planes, change it to maybe 50, maybe a little bit higher, or actually, let's go with parallel to this point. Now I'm getting a plane, customized plane, parallel to the top plane, which is already connected to that point. And I click OK. Now, at the very least, I know if I draw my profile on this plane, it would be connected to the path. So let's click on that plane and activate Sketch. And the sketch would be something like a rectangle, like that. Okay? So, at this point, what happened? At this point, editing my rectangle, give it some value. I know you're not doing it exactly like me. It's fine. Go with whatever you think is easier for you, because we are a little bit in uncharted territories based on what we have covered to this point. I got it fully defined. All right. Now, I'm going to see if I can sweep this rectangle on this path in both ways, like this, without merging it, of course. So I'm going to open options and uncheck merge result. These are advanced tips. Again, something you need hours of training and mentoring to understand why, and we are doing it already. So I'm sorry for that, but this is how it goes. Sometimes it gets complicated. Removing this point so I can move it. I just hope at this point you are not paying attention to what I do and doing it on your own. Good. Very, very good. Okay. Now I'm going to extend this surface into the body. So activating the sketch on it, turning that into sketch, extruding it all the way to this surface. Merge it to all bodies. Why not? Do it with this one too. This surface. Activate the sketch. And merge it to this one. There might be an issue with this one. No issues. All good. Now, so many sharp edges that we need to round using Fillet. For example, select this line, go to Fillet. If your handle is not like mine, it's fine. But I hope at this point we are all dealing with the same thing over here. Let's go with 7. 7 is fine, guys. And click OK. And over here, your handle, I know it might be different than mine, so don't try to do it exactly like I do. It might not look the same, but you can still try to add some fillet to the handles that you have designed. If you want to send your model to me to info@solidworkstutorials.net, I might share your model on my page, which I'm posting online so others can see your work too. So this is the handle, this is it, and this is more or less something that I did in 34 minutes. This simple looking component takes 34 minutes to model. If I go so slow, if I wanted to do it faster, I would have done it in half the time. Let's say 17 or 20 minutes, and it's not finished yet. There are so many fine tunings to do. If I actually wanted to do this T-cam with all its actual dimensions, like here for the cap, for this handle to look like this and all that, it would take me hours. Now imagine how many hours it would take to design something like this dune buggy, or something like this rover, or this drone, or this and that. If you want to actually be able to model these, you need to master all of these tools and a lot more to know how to solve a problem like that one. Remember when I couldn't extrude this one to the body? You need a lot more training, guided training, and I do just that. If you want to start your journey and go as fast as possible, do yourself a favor, click on the link in the description below, watch my webinar, consider my course. You can reach out to me, you can talk to me. I'm always available. Via email or comments below this video. So do yourself that favor and do that. And before I leave, let me tell you something. If you made it this far, congrats, you've just unlocked a whole new level in SolidWorks. But remember, I mentioned a free bonus. Well, here it is. I've put together a page with some of the step-by-step tutorials, drawing SolidWorks components, and cheat sheets that I have uploaded and going to upload more. No signups needed, just go there now and practice. The link is right below this video. Another link that will help you is my 40 minutes free SolidWorks class. Its link is also below this video, just a free sign up. And if you like this video, please hit that like button and the hype button so YouTube shows it to more future engineers like yourself, because in 2025, 2026 and onward, I'm here to help you learn SolidWorks, because SolidWorks is gonna stay, it's gonna change probably with AI, but it's gonna be here, and I'm looking for serious learners like you. Don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video, click on the video on the right to learn how to design a product from scratch, and click on this icon over here to go to my 40 minutes free SolidWorks class. I'll see you there.